Marvel's Superheroes Secret Wars, commonly known simply as Secret Wars, is a 12-issue American comic book crossover limited series published from May 1984 to April 1985 by Marvel Comics. The series was written by Jim Shooter with art by Mike Zeck and Bob Layton. It was tied to the same-named toy line from Mattel. Publication history: the series was conceived by Marvel Comics editor-in-chief Jim Shooter. Kenner had licensed the DC heroes. Mattel had He-Man, but wanted to hedge in case superheroes became the next big fad. They were interested in Marvel's characters, but only if we staged a publishing event that would get a lot of attention, and they could build a theme around. Fans, especially young fans, often suggested to me one big story with all the heroes and all the villains in it, so I proposed that. It flew. Mattel thought that kids responded well to the word secret, so after a couple of working names bit the dust, we called the story Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars. Shooter also explained. We went through a number of ideas for names for the toy line and series. Mattel's focus group tests indicated that kids reacted positively to the words wars and secret. Okay. Mattel had a number of other requirements. Dr. Doom, they said, looked too medieval. His armor would have to be made more high-tech. So would Iron Man, a unregistered trademark S, because their focus groups indicated that kids reacted positively. Etc. Okay. They also said there had to be new fortresses, vehicles and weapons because they wanted playsets, higher price point merchandise and additional play value. Okay. When time came to actually do it, I realized that only I could write it. Crossover titles include The Amazing Spider-Man, Avengers, Captain America, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man, The Thing, Fantastic Four, Marvel Team Up, Thor, and Uncanny X-Men. A sequel titled Secret Wars 2 was published from July 1985 to March 1986. A new series was released on May 6, 2015, using the name of the original series, but featuring battles between different Marvel universes. Plot summary: a cosmic entity called the Beyonder observes the mainstream Marvel universe. Fascinated by the presence of superheroes on Earth and their potential, this entity chooses a group of both heroes and supervillains and teleports characters against their will to Battle World, a planet created by the Beyonder in a distant galaxy. This world has also been stocked with alien weapons and technology. The Beyonder then declares, "I am from beyond. Slay your enemies and all that you desire shall be yours. Nothing you dream of is impossible for me to accomplish." The heroes include the Avengers, 3 members of the Fantastic Four, solo heroes Spider-Man, Spider-Woman 2 and the Hulk, and the mutant team X-Men. Magneto is featured as a hero, but immediately becomes non-aligned when the Avengers question his presence. The villains include the Absorbing Man, Dr. Doom, Dr. Octopus, the Enchantress, Kang the Conqueror, Claw, the Lizard, Molecule Man, Titania, Ultron, Vulcaner, and the Wrecking Crew. The cosmic entity Galactus also appears as a villain who immediately becomes a non-aligned entity. The heroes and villains have several skirmishes. There are several significant developments in the series. Villainesses Titania and Vulcaner are created. The second Spider-Woman, Julia Carpenter, is introduced. Spider-Man finds and wears the black costume for the first time, initially unaware that it is actually an alien symbiote. Dr. Doom temporarily steals the Beyonder's power. Having fallen in love with the alien healer Tsagi, Mutant Colossus ends his romantic relationship with a heartbroken Kitty Pryde. And the Thing chooses to remain behind on Battle World and explores the galaxy for a year, with She-Hulk temporarily joining the Fantastic Four as his replacement. Years later, it was revealed that while the heroes and villains fought on Battle World, the Thing's girlfriend Alicia Masters was replaced by Lijor, a Skrull spy. When the Fantastic Four returned to Earth without the Thing, she began a relationship with the Human Torch. The two eventually married, and remained a happy couple until the Skrull's true identity was exposed by the Thing and the Puppet Master. Sequels: a year later, Secret Wars 2 was published, with the Beyonder visiting Earth and having a tie-in with almost every Marvel comic book written at the time. In 2010, a Marvel Adventures All Ages miniseries titled Spider-Man and the Secret Wars was released. It tells the story from Spider-Man's perspective and features major discrepancies with the original event. These tales include him receiving the Beyonder's power and creating New Parker City, Spider-Man and the Thing spying on Dr. Doom, and a story featuring Spider-Man's suspicions concerning the Hulk. It was released in conjunction with Avengers and the Infinity Gauntlet and Captain America and the Kovac Saga, similar self-contained, all-ages reimaginations of past events, that appear to take place in their own separate continuities in the standard Marvel Adventures manner. In 2015, as part of the modern-day Secret Wars event, Deadpool's Secret Wars was released. This 4-issue miniseries retold the events of the original miniseries from Deadpool's point of view and fixed inconsistencies with the original and later events. Among these was the Wasp and Magneto's sudden one-night stand, the reasoning for both the Venom symbiote's costume design and its later insanity, and the purpose of the secret shields from the original toy line. It was ultimately revealed that the Wasp, out of either disgust or regret for seeing Deadpool's cancer-ridden body, accidentally caused everyone to forget his involvement in the storyline, creating the inconsistencies. Other versions. What If? Some issues of What If revolve around the Secret Wars. Brave New World by Jay Faerber and Greg Schigel explored what would happen if the heroes became stranded on Battle World, after Galactus and Beyonder destroy each other in battle. The battle continues for a while, but after the deaths of Bulldozer, Captain Marvel, Cyclops, Dr. Octopus, Kang, Magneto, and Spider-Woman, both sides declare peace. Hulk heads into the wilderness to find a way to get everyone back home, while Dr. Doom builds a replica of his Latvian castle. The Enchantress disappears, Mr. Fantastic somehow dies, and Spider-Man's black suit causes him to turn cold and accelerates his aging to the point of becoming a skeleton. Eventually some of the inhabitants have children who inherit some of their powers, including Bravado, Chokehold, Crusader, Firefly, Gator, Malefactor, Moleculan, Mustang, Raze and Torrent. By Bravado's 18th birthday, Malefactor disposes of his father and gathers Chokehold, Gator, Claw, Moleculan, and Raze in a plot to take over Battle World. Bravado, Crusader, Firefly, Mustang, Torrent, and the heroes and reformed villains defeat them. Hulk and Dr. Doom return to help end the conflict. Hulk has used 30th century technology from the deceased Kang to create a portal that will take everyone home with the help of Thor's hammer. She soon appears and warns them of the bad thing that will happen if they return to Earth. Though the adults call off the trip, the younger heroes sneak out at night and end up on Earth, which is overrun with Sentinels. The five agree to stay on Earth as the Avengers and liberate Earth. On a related note, these five had appeared in the Destiny War storyline. In another alternate universe, Dr. Doom retains the Beyonder's power and takes over the universe. Secret Wars. In May 2015, Marvel will publish a new Secret Wars mini-series, written by Jonathan Hickman and drawn by Asad Ribia, that will pick up from where the Time Runs Out storyline running in Avengers and New Avengers ends. The storyline involves the Marvel Universe combining with other alternate universes, including the Ultimate Universe, as well as the 2099 universe, with the merging resulting in Battle World, a world which exhibits aspects of the various universes. The core limited series will be 9 issues long, and will likely run for 8 months. One of the core miniseries is Ultimate End, which will end the Ultimate Marvel imprint after 15 years. Ultimate End is written by Brian Michael Bendis and artist Mark Bagley, the team that began the Ultimate Marvel Universe with Ultimate Spider-Man. In other media, an abbreviated form of the 1990s Secret Wars storyline appeared in the animated television series Spider-Man, where the Beyonder and Madame Web selected Spider-Man to lead a team of heroes against the villains Dr. Doom, Dr. Octopus, Lizard, Alistair Smythe, and Red Skull. The goal was allegedly to determine whether good or evil was stronger, but it was revealed after the war to have been carried out to determine which of several alternate Spider-Men was worthy to lead a team to save the universe. One completely written chapter of Secret Wars involved Spider-Man finding another black suit and the X-Men, but transporting the X-Men cast to LA from Canada was too costly in the previous episodes the X-Men appeared in, so the episode was dropped and only Storm was used for the rest of the chapters of Secret Wars due to the fact that Iona Morris lives in LA. Hulk and She-Hulk were not used in these episodes because the Hulk show was on UPN. Furthermore, Quinton Flynn was the only voice actor to reprise his role from the Fantastic Four animated series. Mattel released 3 waves of action figures, vehicles and accessories in the Secret Wars toy line from 1984 to 1985. References. External links: Secret Wars at Marvel.com, original 1984 Secret Wars Hype Box, and House add-on very fine near Mint.com, The Ultimate Guide to Marvel's Superhero Secret Wars Action Figure Index, the unofficial handbook of Marvel Comics creators, Secret Wars at the Comic Book DB, Art Asylum Fans' Choice Secret Wars Poll.